Thanks to Skillshare for sponsoring this video. There's no better way to get more electric vehicles on the road than to take the best-selling gasoline vehicle over the last 40 years and turn it into a powerful, sleek electric version of itself. This is the brand new all-electric Ford F-150 Lightning pickup truck, which is one of the most important vehicles of our time, if it's a success, that is. Now, full disclaimer, this video is not sponsored by Ford. One of my subscribers actually reached out to me and asked if I wanted to check his truck out, so I spent a few hours with it, and today I'll give you my first impressions of the features and performance from the perspective of a Tesla owner, because I've owned a Model 3 since 2018, and now I have a new Model Y as well. Now, the Ford F-150 Lightning base model starts around $40,000 before any tax credit and has a decent range starting at 230 miles and can go all the way up to 320 miles with the extended range battery on the XLT and Lariat trims, but this particular one is the top of the line platinum trim with the extended range battery and a range of 300 miles after accounting for a slight range decrease from the larger wheels. Now, this platinum model costs around $100,000 after taxes, which is undoubtedly expensive, but this price is not much different than what people can expect to pay for a new fully loaded gasoline F-150, which costs around $90,000. Furthermore, this is actually the most affordable electric pickup truck on the market right now compared to the only other options, which are the GMC Hummer EV and Rivian R1T. Now, those are more flashy lifestyle trucks, while the F-150 Lightning looks nearly identical to its gas equivalent other than the Lightning badges on the sides, along with the charge port door and the thick light bar on the front that actually isn't too noticeable with this white paint. But don't let the traditional look fool you. This truck packs some awesome new features and performance that you won't find in a gas truck. Probably the most useful and differentiating feature is the Mega Power Frunk. Instead of housing an internal combustion engine, under the hood of the Lightning is a huge weather-tight front trunk with a storage space of 14 cubic feet, and it can hold up to 400 pounds. It's essentially the same size as a trunk on a standard size sedan. I'm 6'3" and can sit up straight with plenty of room, so not only can this be used for storage, but it can come in handy when camping or tailgating if you need a few extra seats. It also has a smaller area underneath that is a good spot to keep the mobile charging cable along with some adapters. Now, the Frunk has 4 120-volt power outlets and 2 USB ports for charging a plethora of devices and tools, and to top it off, it has grocery bag hooks and is washable with built-in drain outlets. Now, moving to the back, the 5.5-foot bed of the truck also has some really cool features. For starters, the tailgate is fully automatic with a powered opening and a powered closing that can both be done by the key fob. However, you cannot do it from the Ford mobile app just yet, which the owner stated that is one of the biggest complaints so far for him. He said the Ford Pass app is still limited in functionality and not the most user-friendly, but hopefully it'll get better soon via updates. And that's something I've always loved about owning a Tesla, being able to use the mobile app to control many aspects of the car from anywhere I am. And although this isn't a unique feature to the Lightning, it also has a built-in convenient step and handle to allow easy entry into the bed, and both of these stow away discreetly when not in use. The bed also works in conjunction with Ford's Pro Power Onboard, which also comes on other F-150s and is a convenient feature that provides on-site, on-demand power for tools, electronics, appliances, and other devices such as other electric vehicles. Yes, this 9.6 kilowatt power system includes 4 120-volt outlets and 1 240-volt outlet in the bed and turns this truck into its own job site without the need for a portable generator. We even put it to the test by connecting my Tesla Model Y. Now, once we connected the Tesla charging cable to the Ford's power outlet, sure enough, the F-150 Lightning began charging the Tesla battery. It even shows helpful information about the power being consumed on the center touchscreen. Now, speaking of, this interior is full of next generation technology, which is super important because the interior experience is a huge part of vehicle ownership because it's where you spend all of your time. It can seat up to 5 passengers, and it's very roomy inside, especially in the front seats. I felt like there was an enormous amount of space, not only in the driver's seat itself, but also the space between me and the passenger seat. It felt like much more than my Model Y. Now, if you're watching this video, you've probably seen MKBHD's recent Ford Lightning video where he called it the iPhone of trucks. Now, Marquez makes some of the best tech videos on YouTube, and I've learned so much from him for creating my own videos, and that brings us to today's sponsor, Skillshare, which is an online learning community with thousands of inspiring and creative classes for anyone who loves learning. If you have a passion or a specific skill that you're trying to learn, then Skillshare is the perfect place to start. It not only offers an easy-to-use platform for a wide variety of classes, but you also benefit from having an engaged community on Skillshare, which is essential for learning. As a video creative myself, I'm always trying to improve my craft, and I recently completed Marquez's YouTube Success class on Skillshare, where I learned his unique take on planning a video, filming high-quality content, editing the footage, and growing a YouTube channel strategically. All of these skills were applied to the making of this video you're watching right now. The first 1,000 of my viewers to sign up using the link in the description below will get a 1-month free trial of Skillshare so you can start exploring your creativity today. Now, one common complaint about Tesla vehicles is how the interior doesn't feel very premium. This F-150 interior is obviously very high quality since it's the top of the line trim, so it's definitely a step above the Model 3 and Model Y interior, but that's not a fair comparison because this is a 6-figure truck. And I'd say that this interior is on par with the 6-figure Model S Plaid interior that I experienced last year. Now, the single biggest turnoff for me about this interior is the busy steering wheel and center console buttons. You see, I'm weird and actually prefer Tesla's minimalist software-driven design. When you get used to that type of styling, it makes going to something like this with tons of buttons and dials and physical controls a little off-putting and overwhelming. And I'm sure some of these buttons could easily be software-based, but that's just my own personal opinion. However, I do like the vertical portrait center touchscreen, which has a much more intuitive user experience than I expected. The Lightning comes standard with Ford's latest Sync 4 software, and a 12-inch touchscreen is standard, but the higher-end trims come with an even larger 15-inch touchscreen. And it's actually pretty fluid and snappy and easy to navigate. It's not as user-friendly or laid out as well as Tesla software, but it's not bad by any means. And the only downside is that you won't be able to enjoy widescreen video playback and video games on this touchscreen as you do in a Tesla. But for vehicle controls, it does a pretty good job. However, this does have some advantages over Tesla, and one of them being a big reason why the owner chose this truck over a Tesla Model X, and this has Apple CarPlay, which allows you to navigate your iPhone apps using the touchscreen, which is a feature that more and more people seem to prefer in their vehicles, and I can't blame them. Being able to pull up any iPhone app on the touchscreen is really nice, and also has Android Auto too. Now, the infotainment screen also provides a lot of useful information about the truck, and even has unique things like a scale that shows how much weight is in the bed, and even a trailer mode, which will automatically adjust your estimated range based on how much you're towing. It also has the 360-degree bird's eye view, which we Tesla owners have been begging for years and still don't have it. This is nice to have when parking or trying to maneuver around tight spaces. Now, the digital instrument cluster behind the wheel provides useful information about the vehicle, navigation directions, and even battery info, although it could benefit from a few software enhancements, which I'm sure Ford will eventually do. Now, another one of my favorite interior features is how you can press a button and the gear shifter will retract into a slot, which allows this center console area to fold out and reveal a big flat surface area that can be used as a table, workspace for typing or writing or many other uses. Something I've never seen in any other vehicle. Now, this platinum trim shines in the comfort arena as well. This has a Bang & Olufsen sound system with built-in speakers in the headrests, and the seats are wide and very comfortable to sit in. But the best features of the seats are the built-in massager, which can be turned on while driving, and the seats can also be heated or cooled. It was super hot when I drove this, and the ventilated cooling seat was a must because in my Tesla, I get the worst back sweat and swass, as my wife likes to call it. And the back seats also have a really convenient organized storage area underneath for even more cargo space. Now, although I had plenty of legroom in the back seat, my head did hit the top of the soft part of the roof, which was a bit disappointing, but again, I'm fairly tall, so anybody 6 feet or under shouldn't have a problem sitting in the back. Speaking of the roof, one of my other favorite interior features was the automatic retractable sunroof, which can be opened to show the glass roof to really let the sun light up the inside, or the glass roof itself can open for a fully fledged sunroof window for even more breeziness while driving or parked. The interior also has 2 additional power outlets and more USB ports. Now, let's talk about the driving experience. All F-150 Lightning models come standard with dual motor all-wheel drive. Even though the Lightning is similar dimensions to the gas F-150, this electric version weighs quite a bit more, but performance is still top-notch for a truck this heavy. Like most EVs, the Lightning Platinum has instant torque when the accelerator is pressed, and in some tests have claimed that the Platinum can hit 60 miles an hour in just 4 seconds, which is quicker than my dual motor Model Y. Now, I'm also not used to driving a vehicle this big, This truck obviously takes up a lot more space than my Model Y, and the Model Y is even bigger than my Model 3, which I'm used to driving. So sitting up at such a high vantage point was pretty nice while in the driver's seat. And the handling is actually quite impressive as well, thanks to the battery, which contributes to a low center of gravity, similar to almost all other EVs. Now, Ford says the Lightning has a max payload of 2,000 pounds and a max towing capacity of 10,000 pounds, but I obviously wasn't able to test these, but what I did do was test out Ford's advanced driver assistance system called BlueCruise. Now, when it comes to these driver assistance systems, I always label Tesla Autopilot and FSD as the top tier, and all the other systems fall into the second tier or below. Now, Tesla is still the one to beat, and although BlueCruise is not as feature-rich or advanced as Tesla Autopilot, it's still a good ADAS that will definitely help people drive safer, which is the least we can ask from new cars at this point. So Ford BlueCruise allows you to take your hands off the wheel on certain preordained stretches of limited access divided highways. So it's not as widely available on as many roads as Tesla Autopilot, but it does have that one advantage of not requiring hands on the wheel like Tesla requires. BlueCruise uses the vehicle's GPS and navigation data to know where it can be activated, and it uses adaptive cruise control, lane centering, and road sign recognition software, as well as the forward-facing camera and radar hardware that powers them to steer, accelerate, and brake the vehicle, keeping it in its lane and a safe following distance behind other vehicles ahead. Now, inside the vehicle, there are cameras on the driver's side A-pillar and just to the left of the center touchscreen that monitor the driver's eyes to make sure you're paying attention to the road and remain ready to take control at any time. Although Tesla has a similar cabin-facing camera that is doing the same driver monitoring, Tesla still requires hands on the wheel when autopilot is enabled, while BlueCruise lets you truly go hands-free as long as your eyes face forward for the vast majority of the time. And if you look away for too long, it alerts you to pay attention to the road. Now, the short amount of time I had with BlueCruise, it seemed to do a decent job at the basics, lane keeping and distance keeping, but I did find it difficult to actually know when BlueCruise was available to enable, since it's still limited based on certain roads. The good news is that this is software, and software should and will improve over time. And for the people who for some reason don't want to use Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, Ford's built-in navigation works pretty well. I tested it out the voice commands and it successfully guided me each time, and the ride quality is extremely comfortable in this truck. With its fully independent suspension, optimal weight balance, and low center of gravity, the Lightning is definitely the best riding and handling F-150 ever made. And even though I'm already used to how quiet electric vehicles are when driving, I was still almost floored by how quiet it is in the cabin of this truck. Ford did a fantastic job at sound dampening from the outside world. The road noise is considerably low, and I could barely hear the other cars driving by when I was stopped in traffic. I didn't have a chance, or a need for that matter, to charge this truck, but just like any other EV, one of the best benefits of the Lightning compared to a gas truck is the ability to charge at home overnight while you sleep and to never have to stop at a gas station ever again. Total lifetime cost of ownership of an EV is almost always much cheaper than an internal combustion engine vehicle. And although the biggest downside to an electric truck like this is the negative effects on range when towing heavy items, this is how I look at it. Most pickup truck owners that I personally know are guys with families, and their biggest reason for wanting a truck is because they need to be able to sit 4 to 5 people in the cabin while having some extra room for occasional trips or vacations or for hauling things very short distances. That's it. It's very rare that they are towing trailers or hauling heavy items for long distances. So if you are one of these people who drive your truck less than 250 miles daily for your normal driving and can charge for cheap at home, you'll greatly benefit from having an electric pickup truck like this. And you'll find if you're on a road trip, you can charge fairly quickly at an Electrify America DC fast charging station, for example. However, the Lightning's current maximum charging rate is 150 kilowatts, which is not as quick as other EVs such as the Rivian R1T or Hummer EV, which can charge up to 300 kilowatts in some cases. And the Tesla Model 3 and Model Y can charge up to 250 kilowatts at V3 superchargers. But Ford says the Lightning's ability to charge at a higher speed all the way to 90% before tapering is a counter advantage, whereas most other EVs start to taper after about 80%. Overall, this is the most powerful, the most useful, and the most comfortable pickup truck I've ever driven. And I believe if Ford can figure out how to mass produce this Lightning, we will see a ton of these on the road within the next few years. And I can truly see this replacing the gas F-150 once word gets around from all the new owners. I hope you enjoyed this first impressions review of the Ford F-150 Lightning electric pickup truck. Thanks for watching. If you want to see more Tesla tech videos, EV videos in the future, make sure you subscribe, give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one.